Why do we have such fear of man? Why do we have fear at all? If you root back fear to the very foundation, you would find that it's not fear of flying or swimming or people. It's the fear of death. I'm afraid to fly. No, you're not. You're afraid to crash because you're going to die. I'm afraid to swim. No, you're not. You're afraid of drowning and dying. I'm afraid of snakes. No, you're not. You're afraid of getting bit and dying. I'm afraid of people. No, you're not. You're not afraid of man. You're just afraid of what they think about you. Let me give you some really, really, really good news. Jesus says in Romans 6 that I've been buried with Christ in baptism. No longer I who live, but Christ in me, the hope of glory. If I'm dead, your opinions don't hurt me. If I'm dead, the attempts of the enemy against me don't hurt me. I trust God. We get to walk in this promise. Romans 7. This is the chapter that we get, well, it's okay for me to sin because Paul sinned. No, that's not what he's saying. He's saying, how can I, apart from God, do anything? How can I, apart from God? All the Old Testament people, they were striving. 613 laws, 10 commandments, couldn't reach a single one of them. Why? Because they did it on their own strength. And Paul says, if I try to do that, I'm a wretch. Poor wretched soul am I. I will never accomplish the goal. But Romans 8 says, but thanks be to God for his Son, Jesus. Therefore, if any man be in Christ Jesus, they are not condemned. Isn't that amazing? What's the purpose of the cross for you today? The purpose of the cross for you today is that you can live in absolute freedom from the world. The purpose of the cross for you today is that when you see the cross and you take on the promise of the cross and you start walking as a Christian, that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Fear, guilt, shame, condemnation, all tools of the enemy, completely annihilated by the cross. Completely annihilated by the cross. Are you hearing me? I said completely annihilated by the cross. Fear, guilt, shame, condemnation. You say, well, what does that mean? That means when you look at your past and you say, oh, I'm so dirty because of what I did, the cross says, no, you're clean because of what he did.